Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day and welcome to the channel. So today I've got one of the newest lithium batteries offered from LiTime, and it's going to be their 51.2 volt 100 amp hour battery. And along with the entire kit for it, so it's got the charger, the battery monitor, all the mounting hardware, everything. I've used quite a few of their batteries over the last few years. I have one running in this cart, and I have a couple that I've been using for a couple years now. And I've had a really positive experience. I haven't had any issues with the batteries so far. They perform very well for what I've put them in, and I really just have nothing to complain about. So I'm pretty excited to install this battery. This is their first metal case battery that I'm going to be installing, so it's a much nicer quality build, at least that's what it seems like, and it does have a much higher output for this cart. So right now this cart's actually stock with the stock motor controller, but I am going to be converting this to the 600 amp 4 kilowatt system from Navitas. So we'll really be able to put this battery through the paces probably in the next video. So in this video I'm going to install this, get everything set up, and then in the next video, once I have the Navitas kit installed in this cart, we'll really put this battery to work and see if we can really hit those numbers and if it shuts off or anything like that. So I'll show you what you get with the entire kit here, and then we'll move on to installing it. So right here's the battery itself. Like I said, it's a really nice metal design, spring-loaded handles here. It is about 100 pounds, so don't hurt yourself installing this. I was not 100% sure how to mount this thing with this cart because there is a raised piece on the inside of it, and I didn't want to have to cut that out, but this battery actually comes with these blocks right here that you can raise the entire battery about 3.5 inches. So that'll be enough to clear everything. I won't have to modify the battery compartment at all, other than drilling a couple holes to bolt that in there. Then it has a communication port, little connector here, all your mounting hardware, covers for the positive and negative terminals, all the literature here, and there's also the warranty card in here, so make sure that you do register for the warranty and everything like that so that you don't have any issues. And then this piece here kind of seems like a bit of an isolator for the bottom of the battery, but it mounts in between those mounts to space them out properly, and the battery goes right on top. Over here we have the 18 amp charger. This is also the waterproof charger, which is awesome because I always, at least now, I do all onboard chargers because it's just so much easier to have an extension cord versus having to carry a charger around with you or have it somewhere that's always in the way. Extension cords are way easier. And then we have the battery monitor here. Not 100% sure where I'm going to mount that yet, but really nice to have this just so you can kind of monitor the capacity of the battery. Also, on these lithium batteries, when they run out of battery, there's almost no warning and it just shuts off. It's just the way lithium works. So you have basically full power all the way until there's nothing left, and then you're pushing. So having that capacity monitor really does help out a lot. As far as the sizing of this battery goes, we're going to be right at 18 3/8 wide. Now you are going to add about 1.5 inches per side for these little mounting plates here. And then the lid is slightly wider as well versus the case. So you're 19 7/8 on the length here with the width of the lid. Also, you do want to take into account that you are going to be mounting things on this side. So you want to leave yourself a little bit of room so that nothing gets bound up. For the depth of this battery, we've got about 10 7/8. Lid's going to be about 12 3/8. And then the height of it from the ground to the top of the handles is right at about 10 inches. Like I said, you do also have these mounts here to lift it up a little bit, and they are 2 3/4 inch. So that'll be it should be enough. If we go over here, into the cart, I need about 1.5 inches. So that's gonna be perfect to clear this whole centerpiece. I don't have to cut it out or anything, and I'll be able to just drill a few holes in the battery tray itself and not really modify much else. Now, in terms of the performance of this battery, it's rated for 100 amps of output, but it's also rated for 200 amps of output for 120 seconds or 600 amps of output for a second. It also says on the battery that it's made for carts slower than 21 miles an hour. The 60 amp hour battery that I tried from LiTime also said 100 amp max, and we put it through way more than that. and it really didn't have a whole lot of an issue until I put it into a cart with the new Alltrax AC1 kit. And then we did get it to shut off a couple of times, but that was at a max of about 350 amps of output, which is way higher than that battery is rated for. So it's gonna be interesting to see on this battery when we do start upping the output and doing more extended runs, doing uphill, things like that. Can we get it to shut off, or is it just gonna keep powering through it all? But let's get this battery opened up. I'll kind of show you what's inside it, and then we will get it installed into the cart. All right, so we got all the screws out. Let's take a look at the inside of this battery. So right there on top, you've got the BMS, and then it's got 16 individual cells in here. Definitely packaged pretty nice. Looks really good. Everything's pretty clean and tidy. The only thing that I don't like is this sealant, I'm assuming for waterproofing, is really only on the top of all of these things. It'd be nice to see that all the way around. So might be something worth doing if you get this to just add a little bit of silicone and seal all that around. It does have a waterproof seal on the top. But if these aren't totally watertight, not that this battery will ever be submerged, but it might be worth adding a little bit just to keep it safe. But really a pretty clean design, and nice to be able to access this if you ever had to service anything. Right here we got the charger on, and it's just about fully charged, 99%, currently charging at just under 17 amps and a voltage of 55.2. That will drop a little bit once the charger's off to a more of a resting voltage, but looking pretty good so far. All right, so here's the battery sitting here in the tray. It's not exactly where I want it, mainly because these cables here are not quite long enough for me to center the battery. So it's a little bit off to the side, and the reason I haven't done anything in terms of like lengthening these cables or just mounting it this way is because I am going to be replacing the controller and motor, and I'll have new cables. So at that point, that's when I'll hard mount all the mounts for the battery and everything and get it exactly where I want. But just for demonstration purposes, negative here, positive, battery is turned on. This is the RS485 port here that runs the battery meter. We did get the battery all charged up. It's at 100% right now. Charger is sitting right here, not securely mounted yet, mainly because I'm waiting until I finish installing this battery completely. And then I will change out the charge port so that I can just plug an extension cord into this from the outside through that receptacle there. But a really simple installation here. There are caps for these terminals here, but again, once I get these wires lengthened and I can have them coming down, then I'll put the caps on there and tidy everything up. These little riser mounts are awesome because they get you right over the top of this raised section in the center of this cart. So those are super helpful. As far as the location for the battery meter, I'm kind of thinking to maybe mount it right there. Not 100% sold yet, but I'll be able to run the wire down through the compartment and then hide it all underneath. But not totally necessary to be able to see that state of charge. You could always leave it underneath the battery compartment and check it if you wanted to. But it is nice to have. Also, with this, you can let me see here. So you can see your remaining capacity, your batteries that are in parallel. And then with this, the kind of nice thing is you can turn the battery itself off from this here. So we'll see this go off here. And we'll go around to the battery. So it's still green, it should go red and then power down. Yep, so now that's off. I have not been able to turn the battery back on through the meter there. I'm assuming because it gets its power from the battery. And so if there's no power, if the battery's off, it's not getting any power. So then you just gotta turn it back on. But really a cool feature, you can turn it off with that meter. All right, so I'm gonna take the cart out for a little bit of a test drive. Currently in the stock setup, it only does about 12 miles an hour. So we're not gonna do any range testing with this setup here because it would take me 6-7 hours probably to get the 50 plus miles of range that I'll get with this battery setup and the motor controller. But we'll take it out, just make sure that we've got good power, we're still hitting the speed we should be doing with the limitations on the controller. And then in the next video, I'll be doing a full range test once we do Nvidia swap this card. We are cooking. All right, so I just drove about a mile. I used about 3% because it started at 99. Voltage 53.1. Definitely nice to be able to see these amps as you're hitting throttle and then getting off of it. I think we maxed out at maybe 120 under acceleration from a dead stop, but it really was sitting about between 40 and 50 amps, cruising about 12 miles an hour. So like I said, we should be getting probably in the neighborhood of 40 miles of range on just this battery. With the current setup, that's obviously going to change once you put the Vitas in here and up the speed quite a bit, but we'll make sure to do a test with that. So to wrap things up, I'm super excited about this new battery from LiTime. It's definitely a step up with the metal case and just the build quality itself, and then having the entire kit with the waterproof charger and the battery meter as well. It's just really an awesome setup. I think right now they have a promotion going on for $300 off the whole kit. So you can get this entire thing for $1,100, which is pretty crazy considering just replacing lead acid batteries is gonna run you typically in the $1,500 range, and AGM is gonna be $1,700, $1,800. So the fact that you can get 100 amp hour lithium versus lead acid being roughly equivalent to 60 amp hours of lithium, it's just awesome to see where this technology is going and how much more affordable it's becoming for each of us. If I had to be nitpicky on any of the stuff, I would say some of the sealant on the inside of the battery could be put on a little bit better. I think I will take some waterproof sealant or some marine sealant and just make sure that all those ports are sealed completely, just so I don't have any issues down the road. And then I do wish the battery had Bluetooth with it. It's not a huge deal. I mean, most of the carts that I run don't have Bluetooth on the batteries, but just to be able to, pull up your phone, see the state of charge, and then be able to see the individual cell voltages, so you can see if maybe one of the cells is a little bit off. It's still a really awesome setup. And for the price point, I really don't have a whole lot to complain about, but I'm really excited to get the Nvidia swap into this cart so that we can really push this battery to the limits and see the capabilities of it. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you're subscribed, and I hope to see you again soon.